We are officially halfway through the year. I can't believe it's June already. But what better time than now to do a mid-year financial review? A mid-year review can be a great time to check in and make sure that you are on track for your goals, but it's also a good time to check in on your income and your expenses and see how things are tracking with these. You can check to see if any areas can be changed or improved for the second half of the year moving forward. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through all the different aspects of your financial life that you should review at this time. We'll be covering a range of topics from mortgages to insurance to KiwiSaver, so make sure that you stick around until the end so that you're well equipped to complete your financial review. As always, feel free to skip around the timestamps to save time. Let's get into it. The first thing you should look to review is your financial goals. How are these going? Are you on track? Are these goals still relevant and something that you're working towards? Or is it time to look at setting some new goals? Now is a great time to check in and see how things are going. If you need to set some new goals, then absolutely go for it. If you're still working towards goals, then how are things progressing? Are you on track, or do you need to make some changes to make sure you hit them by the end of the year or by whatever time frame you're working towards? If you've fallen off the rails with some of your goals, then don't worry, now is a great time to get back on track. It's time to refocus and re-strategize so that you can meet your goals. Take some time to analyze where you are at the moment and also what you need to do to reach your goals. Make a plan and write some actionable steps that you can take to reach these goals. For example, let's say that your goal is to save another $1,000 into your emergency fund by the end of the year. This means that you just need to aim to save around $38 a week until the end of the year. By breaking your goal down into bite-sized bits such as week by week, it makes it easier for you to stay focused and stay on track. It can also make your goal feel a little bit more realistic. Rather than aiming for $1,000, all you need to aim for is $38 a week. Once you know what your goal is and you've broken it down to be achievable, the next step is to find little ways that you can make this happen. Maybe it's time that you ask for a pay increase at work and the increase you can put towards your goal. Or maybe for the next 6 months, instead of buying a coffee every day, you make a coffee every day and the money that you're saving goes towards your goals. There are loads of little things that you can do, so take the time to figure out what's going to work for you and put this into practice. The key is to stay consistent and make sure you keep your end goal in mind. Now, if you're doing your review of your goals and you find that you're on track and things are progressing well, now's a great time to take some time to celebrate this. The next thing you should review is your budget or your intentional spending plan. Now, if you don't have one already, I'll pop a link down in the description so you can get yourself a free copy. It's worthwhile taking the time to review your income and also your expenses to make sure it's accurate for your intentional spending plan. If things have changed in any way, now is a great time to update it for the second half of the year. It's a great time to check in with your expenses and see if any of these have increased or decreased, and also check in with your income to see if this has increased or decreased as well. For example, for us, one of the things that we have just changed in our spending plan is that we've moved our daughter to a new kindy, and this has reduced the fees down from what we were paying at her previous kindy. So accordingly, we have updated our intentional spending plan to reflect what the fees are going to be each month moving forward. The money that we were spending on fees, the difference between the old fees and the new fees, this different money has now been allocated to another area of our spending plan. Personally, I do like to review my intentional spending plan every month to make sure that it's accurate. However, if you're doing it each quarter or at a minimum do it half yearly, that's good too. I think it is really important that you do take some time to regularly review your intentional spending plan so that you know where your money is coming from, but also where your money is going. It's good for you to know what is actually going on with your financial life. It helps you to manage your money, stay on top of your finances, and make sure that you remain in control of your money. The next thing to review within your intentional spending plan is your fixed expenses, your utilities, and also your providers. The first thing to look at and review is, have these expenses increased in any way? And if so, why? What is the reason for the increase? Are you using more power, or have the prices just gone up with your current provider? It's a great time to look at shopping around to see if any better deals might be out there. Usually, companies are hungry for new business, so they offer perks and discounts for new clients. It's worthwhile reviewing your power, gas, phone, and internet providers. Make sure that if you are considering swapping providers, that you check if there is a minimum fixed term on the contract. It's important that you be aware of how long you could potentially be locking yourself in for. For me personally, I prefer to go with plans that have no fixed terms and offer a little bit of flexibility so that if I want to swap providers, I can easily do this. I don't like to be locked into any fixed contracts unless it's really worth our while. Make sure that when you review, you see if you are still within any fixed contracts. Some companies, when you join with them, will make you lock in for a minimum certain period of time. If you decide that you want to move within that period of time and you're in that fixed contract, they can charge you some penalties. So make sure that you're aware of what you're signing yourself up for. Take the time to read the fine print and make sure you're fully across what you're signing yourself up for. The next thing you should review is your insurances. This includes all your personal insurances, your health insurances, your car, home, and contents insurances. It's important to review what cover that you have in place to make sure it's accurate and applicable for your current stage in life and your circumstances. It can potentially be worthwhile shopping around to see if you can get a better deal to reduce your premiums that you're paying. I'm lucky enough that I have a fantastic insurance advisor that I work with, and he's actually reached out to me and my husband in the last couple of weeks, saying that he can now get us a better deal on our personal insurance by switching providers. It actually works out that we're gonna save around $26 a fortnight on our insurance premiums for our personal insurance by moving providers. If you don't have an insurance advisor for your personal insurance, feel free to reach out and I can put you in touch with him and he can help you. He is fantastic and has saved us a lot of money on our premiums in the last couple of years that we've worked with him. You can also look to shop around for your car, home, and contents insurance. Some providers offer discounts and a package deal if you move all of the things to them or have more than one thing insured with them, such as having your car and your home insured with them. So make sure that you ask about this when you're looking to switch providers. The next thing you should look to review is your mortgage. Now, if you don't currently have a mortgage, then feel free to skip to the next chapter. It's good to review what is currently owing, when your fixed rates are coming up for review, and also how your repayments are tracking. It's also a good idea to review your overall mortgage loan structure and see if it's still working and still applicable for your life and your circumstances. It's also a good idea if you have a fixed rate renewal coming up and are wanting to make a lump sum payment to start planning and thinking about this as well. As interest rates are still fairly high at the moment, sort of between 6 to 7.25%, it's always a good idea to start reducing this debt down if possible. Even if it's only by a little bit, every little bit helps. Most of the lenders let you pay a percentage of your loan balance each year without any early repayment penalties. If you aren't sure, then check in with your mortgage advisor or give your bank a call for some advice. If you need any help, then please feel free to get in touch and I'd be happy to sit down with you and go over your mortgage with you to make sure your structure's right and also help you with your refixes. For us personally, we have one of our loans coming up for renewal in the coming months, and we've been budgeting and planning accordingly to be able to make a lump sum payment against this so that we can reduce our mortgage balance down faster. Our main reason for making a lump sum payment on our mortgage, aside from wanting to be mortgage free sooner, is that while rates are high, we want to maintain our loan term and not have to push it out. We also want to maintain the repayment amounts that we're making. We want to basically minimize the impact of the high interest rates. I have another video all about refixing on a higher interest rate, which I'll link up over here, that you may find helpful. We've set ourselves a massive goal to be completely mortgage free in the next sort of 7 to 10 years. So it's something that we're constantly working towards and thinking about. I actually just looked back on this last week to see how far we've come. And since 2022, we've actually paid off $95,000 in principal on our mortgage. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to hear more about our personal mortgage payoff journey, and maybe I'll make another video about that. The next thing to look at reviewing is your KiwiSaver. The first thing to look at and review is to check your contribution level to make sure that you're on track to get that free government money here in New Zealand. If you review and find that you're not on track, now is a great time to make an extra contribution called a voluntary contribution to make sure that you can get that if you're eligible. So basically, if you're eligible, the government will contribute 50 cents for every dollar that you put in, up to a maximum of $521.43 every year. So you need to make sure that you've contributed at least $1,043 every year by the 30th of June. So the year for it runs from the 1st of July to the 30th of June. It's actually a good idea to review your KiwiSaver a little bit earlier, like in April, May, to see how things are tracking and make sure you're on track. And if you're not, then you can start planning ahead and making those extra voluntary contributions to ensure you get this free money. For me, being self-employed, it's something that I personally have to manage and make sure that I'm contributing enough to get that free money. So what I've done to just make it easier for myself is automate it and set it up that it goes directly out of my bank account into my KiwiSaver provider. Set and forget, and now it's out of my mind and I don't need to worry about it. Another part of reviewing your KiwiSaver is looking at your current provider and seeing if you're still with the best provider for you and your situation, or whether it's worth shopping around and seeing if there's another provider out there that may be a better fit for you. When looking for a new KiwiSaver provider, it's important to consider the fees that they charge, the returns that they're generating, and also what kind of funds they have on offer. It may also be important to you to check that they are investing ethically and also responsibly as well. You should also look to review your KiwiSaver overall and see how it's tracking towards your goals. So there are basically only two things that you can use your KiwiSaver for. The first thing is for your first home as a deposit, and the second thing is for your retirement. You can plug your numbers into many free calculators that are out there. There's a great one on the Sorter website, and also some of the KiwiSaver providers have great calculators you can use, and you can see how things are tracking and how your KiwiSaver balance is going to end up for either of those two goals. By doing this, you get a sense of whether you're on track for your goals or whether you need to make some changes and increase your contributions so that you can meet those goals. It's also a good time to actually review your fund that you're in and make sure this is right for you and your stage in life, and also what your goals are. I have a whole video all about the common KiwiSaver mistakes that everyday Kiwis are making, which I'll link up over here and also down in the description if you'd like to check that out. Just a reminder that I am a KiwiSaver advisor and I can do free KiwiSaver reviews. So if you'd like this, please get in touch with me and I'll be happy to sit down with you and go over your KiwiSaver with you to make sure it's set up correctly for you and your goals. The next thing to look at reviewing is your investments. It's a good time to review how your overall portfolio is tracking and also see if anything needs rebalancing at this time. Now's a great time to make sure that your investments are on track for your goals and you can adjust and plan accordingly. This is an area I'm personally focusing on this year, specifically my share portfolio. I'm currently reviewing what changes I need to make for my goals moving forward. So that's everything I recommend reviewing for your mid-year financial health check or mid-year financial review. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please share it with someone who may find it helpful as well. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.